Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. I hope you can hear me. I've been having problems with my microphones recently. Not a problem with my microphone, a problem with me. I keep muting myself because I'm an idiot. So I hope you can hear me. Welcome to Magnificent Mondays, episode 39. I know I've had it as 40. It even says 40 on that there, you can't see. But we missed last week, didn't we? So I've had to rename things. So we're on episode 39. This week we're doing Battle Beyond the Stars. Yay. Which is kind of timely. Excuse me. I didn't do this deliberately, but it's out at the same time as Rebel Moon Part 2, isn't it? Which is a version of The Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, Battle Beyond the Stars, etc. So that's what we're doing. And Windgrace is here. One for the ladies, very inclusive. Yes, he's talking about a poll I've put on the in the community section for next week's sketch time. Right, so and there's the shout out down there to my Patreons. Yay, Archmage Frey, that mysterious man from Twitch. I think Windgrace knows him. Joshua Kanapke and Sci-Fi Quest. Cool. I will be adding more to it shortly. And Joshua Kanapke's here. Hey, 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 he says. Right, so anyway, before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. Right, I'll make sure we're live everywhere. We're live on YouTube. Fingers crossed. Yes, we are. We should be live on Rumble. Got to do all this refreshing and all that nonsense. Should be live on Rumble. Yes, we are. And we should be live on Twitch. Yes, we're live on Twitch as well. Cool. Cool. Right. So, Battle Beyond the Stars. 1980, this came out. Roger Corman produced movie. His most expensive film to date. Maybe it still is. I don't know. At the time, $2 million. It did well at the box office for its budget. I think it earned about 11 million. Hang on, I've got the info here somewhere. Yes, $11 million it made at the box office. It actually says 2. It says 11 million or 3.6. Are they not sure? I don't know. Anyway, it stars Richard Thomas, Robert Vaughn, John Saxon, George Peppard, Darla, I don't know how to pronounce the name, Darlan Flugel, don't know, Sybil Danning, Sam Jaff, or Jaffe, Jeff Corey, Morgan Woodward, Marta Kristen, Earl Bowen, Lynn Carlin, and many more, cast of thousands. Directed by Jimmy T. Murakami, written by John Sayles. Did I say that? I'm saying it again. And famously, it's a film that was the production designer on it, or one of the production designers on it, and the chap who basically took over and did the visual effects and stuff for it. One James Cameron, and also part of the crew. Apparently, was a young carpenter named Bill Paxton. So anyway. So there we go. Yes, good night, John Boy. You know what? I think I only saw like a couple of episodes of the Waltons, and but it wasn't my cup of tea. As I said, when I was young, when the Waltons were on, it wasn't spaceships or robots, or it wasn't the $6 million Man or the Incredible Hulk. So I wasn't interested back then. Anyway, right, is that it for the info? Have I said everything? I think so. What have I got in my trivia? I've said the Bill Paxton thing. James Cameron, who worked as a model maker and art director on this movie, was actually fired and rehired twice during production. He began to notice that producer Roger Corman would always be displeased with the sets when he came to inspect, and found set decorators still working on them, and started firing people. However, if Corman arrived on a half-finished set without anyone working on it, he would always like them anyway. What? So finally Cameron had someone on the lookout for Corman's car, and whenever it was spotted, he would clear the set of crew members, no matter what state it was in. Corman would come in and invariably like what he saw. Were he mental? It must have been. And on this set for this film, James Cameron met his future wife, Gaylan Hurd. So there we go. And I think that's about it for now. For now, anyway. There's lots of trivia. Right, so let's get on with the film, shall we? We all know the story. Surely we do. It's the Magnificent Seven, the Seven Samurai. A young chap called Shad goes out from his planet, which is going to be taken over by Sador of the Malmori and his forces. So he heads out into space in his spaceship that looks like a pair of boobs with fallopian tubes on. You'll see. To look for mercenaries to help protect the planet. And he finds some, and hilarity ensues. So, right, let's get on with it. Right, I'll make myself titsy tiny. Where are we? There we go. Hang on, let's get rid of that. There we go. And it's, which one is it? I can never remember. That one? Yes, that one. Right, so let's get the film up. Let's full screen the bounder. Hey, steady on. There it is. New World Pictures presents, and a great score, by the way. We hear James Horner's score for this. I always thought this was his first film, his first feature film, but it isn't. Apparently, it's his third. So, but I think this is one of his best scores. This and this score for Star Trek 2. He's kind of started repeating himself after this. But anyway, and Josh Temple's here. Harpoon at the ready, but creeping in the shadows, he says. Anyway, right, so off we go. Hey, are we going? Right, a Roger Corman production. Let's get on with it. And we begin with the music, and there we go, we're off. We start off with some little these. I don't know what these are supposed to be. We see them in a lot of sci-fi films. But it's just an interesting beginning with James Horner's score blasting out. I'll tell you what, we'll listen to a little bit. I won't do a lot because I'll get a copyright strike. But anyway, here we go. Great score. And apparently, I can't remember who the orchestra was. It was like some Eastern European country did the the orchestra for it. Let me check, see if I can find out. Music. Does it say score? I don't say. I've seen it as well. I've read it somewhere and I can't bloody remember. It was something like the, I don't know, Belgrade Symphony Orchestra, somewhere like that, somewhere from Eastern Europe. And apparently they weren't very good. James Horner wasn't very happy with them, and he kept shouting at them because they couldn't play the score properly. But anyway, that's the story. But I can't remember. Let's say it was some Eastern European symphony orchestra. I can definitely hear the influence for Star Trek. Well, it would do that, like I say, a couple of years after this, wouldn't it? Star Trek 2. And Sci-Fi Quest is here. Hello. It's an amazing score. It is an amazing score. Right, off we go. Right, we're off again. So, get the opening titles. Hang on. Where are we? Get the opening titles. There we go. Battle Beyond the Stars. Apparently, it was originally called Battle Amongst the Stars. And there's supposed to be some posters knocking about. Maybe they're worth some money, I don't know. That say Battle Amongst the Stars. But there's also a comic book version of maybe the original script, I don't know, because it looks a little bit different. I've not read it, I've just seen bits of it online that were titled Battle Amongst the Stars as well. So anyway, but then they changed it for some reason. So there we go, Battle Beyond the Stars, off we go. Richard Thomas, John Saxon, with his trademark comb over. Is it a comb over? It looks like it anyway. Down Flugel, there we go, all the rest of them. By the way, speaking of Sybil Danning, there she is. At the 1981 Saturn Awards, this film was nominated for several awards. It only won one award for best. What was it now? I've bloody forgot already. Hang on, I'm going to have to check again. Where are we? Here it is. There we go. Outstanding Achievement. It won an Outstanding Achievement Award for Sybil Danning. I have no idea what an outstanding. She's got a couple of outstanding things. I don't know if you can see it there. Well, you'll see. But she's got an Outstanding Achievement Award. That was the only award at the Saturn Awards that this film won. But it was nominated in several categories. And Sci-Fi Quest, would you say this is a cult classic? I don't know. I think it's too popular to be a cult film, to be honest. I just call it a classic, in my opinion. Anyway. But, right, music by James Horner, produced by Roger Corman. It was filmed at his Lumberyard Studios in Venice, California, Los Angeles. I went looking on Google Maps today, see if it was still around, but I couldn't find it. Screenplay by John Sayles, who would go on to write, I think the year after this, or maybe his next screenplay would be The Howling, which we've done on Friday Night Appointment with Fear. And there we go, director Jimmy T. Murakami, who were an animator. I don't know what else he's done. I don't know. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look at what else he's done. I've never seen his name anywhere else, I don't think. But let's check, shall we? Right, Jimmy T. Teruaki Jimmy Murakami. He's passed away in 2014. All right, cool. He worked on When the Wind Blows and The Snowman. There you go. I said he's an animator. What else? Right. So, filmography. By the way, he's been around, been doing stuff for a long time. Since 1957. His first credit. What we're looking for? Director. I think they're mostly animated stuff. Yes, they are. He did a TV movie, the Mad Magazine TV special in 1974. Battle Beyond the Stars. He was an animator on Heavy Metal. The Snowman, When the Wind Blows. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, the animated version. And he's done some TV. As well. So there we go. But he did a good job with this film because I really like it. I hold it at the same level as The Last Starfighter. Pretty much, yeah. It's in that same sort of area, isn't it? Right, off we go. Right, we begin. We see the ship of Sador. I don't know if it's got a name. They call it, I think in the script they call it the Hammerhead, but I don't know if that's the name of the ship or just a description of it, because that's what it looks like. If you recognise the design of the ship, Roger Corman liked to reuse all of his effects and his music, pretty much everything. And you've seen it in other stuff, in other Roger Corman produced films. Anyway, here it comes. Hoving into view. That's it. It's fine. It's not exactly a Star Destroyer, is it? It looks a bit smooth in places and stuff, but it's fine. So here it is. Let's say some cool lighting. Like I said, James Cameron worked on all these effects. Right, so we begin. This is the inside of the Malmori. That's what they call the Malmori. There's some sort of mutants. I'm not really sure exactly what they are, but Sador is there in his captain's chair. He's the leader, and he says all of his mutants. He describes all of his crew and his soldiers as mutants. And they all have this weird panda thing on their face. Anyway, so they're looking at Akir. There it is. There's Akir on the view screen. We learn it's a planet of stone with a single green spot. So it must be like a desert planet or whatever. And all the people live in this one area where it's fertile. And they've no defences. And the only ship that the Malmori think they have is an old weather ship. Which we'll see. There it is. There we go. It looks more like a satellite than a ship, but anyway. I presume it must be able to land and take off again, and for the crew, because there's two men inside, and surely they don't live up there forever, so they must get relieved at some point. Anyway, here they are with cool 1970s technology. He directed Humanoids from the Deep. Oh, there we go. I think I've seen that, actually, now you mention that. I think I have. Yes, so I probably have seen his name then. Just like Glenn A. Larson, reusing scenes and effects. Aye. Anyway, so they're here, and they're checking on the weather over the fertile spot, and then they detect the approaching ship of the... there it is, of the... of Sador's ship. Oh, right, the planet is called Akir. Have I said that? The planet is called Akir, and the people who live in it are called the Akira, obviously named after Akira Kurosawa, who did Seven Samurai. Right, so anyway, they welcome the ship. They say, "Welcome to the planet. Could you identify yourself?" And the ship is just destroyed instantly. There you go. Pew, pew, pew. And that's it. Not the best effects in the world. It's not exactly Star Wars, is it? But, it's cool. It's fine. And then we're moving on a matte painting of the city of the Akira. It's all very organic. And you don't really see all this lot, except in this matte painting. And this is I don't know what they call it. It looks like something from Logan's Run or something, doesn't it? But it's some sort of crystal that it's like an alarm system, and it says an alarm goes off, and then here we go. The ship arrives, hoving over the city, and apparently one of these people here, I've no idea because I don't know what she looks like, is Kathy Griffin. I know she's popular in America, but I don't know which one. There's Shad, John Boy Walton, Richard Thomas. And this is his sister, who's called Moll. And something happens to her later, and Shad couldn't give a toss because he didn't even mention her. Anyway. Right, so the ship hovers over the city, Independence Day style, blotting out the sun. There you go, what is it? Oh, this is Zed. As you can see, he's supposed to be blind. This is Jeff Corey, I think. Is it Jeff Corey? I can never bloody remember names, I'm like. Zed, where are you? Yes, Jeff Corey. Let's say he was a classic old actor. I think he probably did a lot of westerns and stuff. I think I've seen him in a western or two. But I also saw him in Babylon 5. He played one of the crew of the ship that were taken over by the shadows on Zahadu. Anyway, here he is. There he is. There's Sador appearing as in hologram form, I presume. There he is with his. I don't know what this is supposed to be on his eye, but if you don't stop picking, it'll never get better. She's not popular in America. She's only popular in certain circles. Whatever. She's famous. Anyway. So it is. So he's offering his ultimatum. He's saying, submit to me, and or you will be killed. Basically, that's what he's saying. He wants to take over their planet, but he's got to go and do something first, and then they'll come back in 7 days. And if they don't submit to him, he will destroy their planet because he's got a stellar converter, which is a weapon that basically turns a planet into a star, a mini star. That's what it seems to do. And he'll use it on their planet if they don't submit to him. So there we go. So he's going to return in a week. So off they go. Oh, but first he's going to shoot some people randomly. It says snipers forward. And you think like windows would open and fellas would appear with sniper rifles, but they don't. They're just turrets. There we go. Turrets just start shooting people. Like so. There we go. Pew! So anyway, this is I will return in 7 risings. So off he goes. The ship departs slowly. There it goes. So there they go. They're off to Umatale. I always thought to Umatale, but Umatale. So, because he says they've got a promise to keep. So it's another planet that is threatened. And anyway. Famous, sure. More infamous, though. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about her. It was the Icarus in B5. Yes, it was. It was the Icarus, yes. Right, anyway, so here we are. They don't know what to do. Because the Akira are peaceful people. They haven't fought in centuries, as he says. And then Zed says, I have fought, and I am son of Akir. And he says, and you're an old man, and all that jazz. And so he suggests as Zed. So apparently there was a time when the Akira did go out and fight, and Zed is the last of the Akira that used to go out and fight and do stuff in the galaxy. And I think later on there's a thing happens that they have trenches, and they thought, well, has there been a war on Akir at some point? And we'll see later on. Anyway, so Zed suggests that they go out and find mercenaries to help them, and Shad says, he'll go because he's flown Zed's ship, which we never learn the name of. None of the ships in this have names, apparently, we see. But anyway, but the ship's computer is called Nell. Anyway, so he can fly Zed's ship, and this is his sister says, my brother is the only one that can fly Zed's ship, so he volunteers to go. Pardon me. And they said, well, how will we pay them with no wealth? And then Zed says, the violent fight for many reasons. And so he says, then who will protect us from these mercenaries? And he says, for that we have the Vada, which is like their Bible or whatever. So anyway, so Shad volunteers with his mole and everything. And there we go, we see the ship. So off there we go, we're going to see it from the front in a minute. Here he goes, he comes in now. There's Shad starts turning on the systems, and he's asking where's Nell? He says, Nell, are you there, old girl? And she says, nobody calls me that but Zed. So anyway, so off they go. They're going to set off. So say, cool. And I'm going to see it from the front. Show us it from the front. In a minute. There we go. There it is from the front. With boobs and everything. Why? Dunno. Dunno. Anyway, but off it goes. There it goes. Da-da! Right, so they're setting off into space, but then they get picked up by the Malmori with this not very well animated, jerkily animated radar screen. This is Kalo and Tembo, the two men who were left behind by Sador to keep an eye on the planet. And because obviously all the people are in one area on the planet, so they didn't need to leave huge amounts of people behind. So they just left one ship to keep an eye on them. So they've picked up Shad trying to. They think it's somebody trying to escape. So he says, We haven't got orders about escape attempts. So it says, so we blow it up, just be on the safe side. So off they go, in pursuit of Nell. We'll call it Nell. And it looks cool from the side, doesn't it? It's a cool shape from the side, but it's weird from the front. Because if your ship looks like a lady, you'll fight harder for her. Yes. Oh dear. Anyway, so off it goes. There we go. The ship's behind. So we get his first space battle. Sort of, but not quite in space. Nearly, well, parts of it are in space. But anyway, so they start shooting at him, and there you go, pew 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 pew, like that. Cool, but he won't fight back. Pew pew, there we go, pew pew. He won't fight back, will Shad? He says, Nell suggests to him, she puts the joystick thing out so he can shoot back at him. And Shad says, no, if we do that, we'll tip our hand. The Malmori will know that we've got weapons and stuff. So, they're going to he's going to outrun them. So they do. But they start slowing down, and I think that's Tembo says, why are we slowing down? Says, our orders were to watch the planet. It says, so to hell with orders, like it says there. And it says, remember Lobo? He disobeyed orders, and now Sador is wearing his left foot. Because that's what Sador does, apparently. He wants to live forever, does Sador, and he does so by replacing his body parts at regular intervals, it seems. I don't know about his head, but maybe that's not his original head. I don't know, but but that's what he does. So they decide to stay behind. I don't know what all this is. Is this just a natural way they look, like Klingon ridges? Or is this because the mutants? I've no idea. But anyway. All we find out is Nell is a Corsair. Yes, could be the name, but more likely it's the class. Yes, well, he says it's an old Corsair, doesn't he, at the end of the film. Right. So, Nell's complaining, showing her backside to those mutant sons of bitches, because she's got attitude as Nell. Anyway. So they've got to go to the station of Dr. Hephaestus, who, according to Zed, an old friend of Zed, who is the best weapons specialist in the galaxy or whatever. So they're heading there. So get a passage of time as they fly through space with more cool James Horner music. There we go. So anyway, the station's approaching, and this is very Star Trek-y kind of music as they're approaching the station slowly. Excuse me. And Archmage Frey, that mysterious man from Twitch, is it? It's all true. Look a bit like the sonar from Insurrection. A little bit, but not quite as stretched. Anyway, so they're approaching the station. They're gliding around the station. Apparently, I don't know, but apparently the basic thing of the Hephaestus station was a terrarium that somebody, I don't know, James Horner or somebody, not James Horner, James Cameron or somebody, found in a dumpster. A terrarium's usually like a glass bottle in it that you put plants in, but I don't know, maybe that's what it was. But they've stuck bits on and make it look big, because it's a big station. Anyway, but nobody's answering his hail, so they're going to go round to the docking area, which is there, and head inside. So, right. So in they go, and out comes, comes gliding in. Right, so he's checking it out about. But then we cut to this place where we meet Nanelia, played by Darlan Flugel, if that's how you pronounce it. And she's an expert on robots, androids, whatever you want to call them. Nell's Globe. Oh, yes. That's what you mean. Yeah. It's coming out of the door. I do a pinky. All that. They wanna wanga. Anyway, right. So this is Nanelia. She's the daughter of Dr. Hephaestus. I don't know how old he was when he sired her, or where her mother is for that matter. But as you'll see, Dr. Hephaestus is a bit of an old chap, but we'll get there. Anyway, she's working on these androids, and she decides this one's got an 8-track tape thing, so she's putting some music in to listen to. So it's singing away is the robot as she works on that. Anyway, Shad encounters some kind of, looks like from Buck Rogers in the 25th century or something like that, doesn't it? It's a little transport thing. So he gets on, but as he sits down, he's trapped, and it's choking him, even though it's not particularly tight, but he's trapped, and he could just take his hand out of there, but, never mind. He can't move. And it brings him into Nanelia's workshop, and he thinks he's a robot that's coming for repairs. And because of his throat being held, he can't speak, and she says, audio problems or whatever, and she releases the thing, and then says, I'm not an android, and she goes, you're warm. She says, yes, I'm organic. And she's never seen another person before, another organic form before, apart from her father. There you go. It's just the androids. Who plays this one? Because he gets quite a few lines in this. There's this chap. Where are we? I presume it's this one. Talking android. Tom Henschel, maybe. Maybe that's him. I don't know. You wanna what? Steve, this is YouTube, not OnlyFans. The Jabba Wanker? Well, he's a bit, isn't he? Anyway, back to this. So she takes care of the androids, and then he's going to tell her why he's there. So he wants to talk to Dr. Hephaestus, and she says, she arranges that for him to go talk to her father, but she says, he's not the man he was when your friend Zed knew him. And then Shad says, as long as he gives us the weapons, but he's got other plans. So in he goes. There we see Dr. Hephaestus. Essentially, he's just a head on this, whatever, there we go, on all that stuff in there. That's it. I don't know. I think it's his way of staying alive. People are obsessed with living forever, and like I say, Sador replaces his body parts, and Dr. Hephaestus has just replaced everything apart from his head, it seems. He's just a head on top of all this equipment. Why don't they just give him an android body? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work like that. Anyway, it says he heard his story it says in the cargo. It should be in the corridor. Subtitles are rubbish. By the way, I watched this earlier on the Blu-ray, which is not bad. It's not the British one; it's the Spanish version. It's a bit vanilla, but it's a nice transfer, and it's in English. English or Spanish, but no special features to speak of. Got to help a neighbour out. Hope to be back before the end. Yes. Oh well, how very charitable of you. But yes, see you in a bit. Sci-Fi Quest. Anyway, where were we? Right, so he heard his story in the corridor, he says, not in the cargo. And he says, when you are in my station, you are in my presence. So he knows all that's going on in his station. And he won't give him the weapons. He says, older even than Zed. And he says, the Akir are doomed. He says, the Malmori, are basically predators. And forms must prey on other forms to survive, which is said more than once in this film. But anyway, there you go. There you go. Forms must prey on other forms to survive. And he says, your people are doomed, and I've got other plans for you. So he wants Shad to stay there and essentially mate with Nanelia so they can have kids and bring life to the station once again. Don't know what happened to all the other people that were on the station. Because it's kind of implied that there were people there at some point, because he says this station was built for many, and he says it is now a hollow and lonely place. So maybe they just left, or maybe he turned them into the androids, like Dr. Reinhardt in the Black Hole. I don't know, but anyway. Right, so this is where he's telling him that they want to breed with his daughter. So obviously he don't want that to happen, but they're going to tell him, they're going to take him to Nanelia's room, and then he has, is it? Hang on a bit. Is it this one? No, it's in a minute. This chap here, I don't know who he is. He's really good at the robot stuff. Saunders, that's it. Dr. Hephaestus staff. Whitney Ridebeck. Don't know what he's been in. But he's really good at the robot walk. Look. Good sound effects as well, by the way. When the robots move, they all go giving it all that. As he looks, it's cool. Anyways, she seems embarrassed that he's being forced to stay there. And he says, I don't have time for this. But then Dr. Hephaestus tells Saunders that to prepare the conjugal suite, because Shad will be staying for some time. And he says, there will be children, excitement, laughter and all that. And Saunders, says, it will be quite a change, sir. But he keeps speaking to him, and Saunders keeps turning away. And then as he speaks some more, he keeps turning back. It's quite amusing. They go, the gentle will be staying then, sir. And then hang on, where are we? They go, he turns round and then he starts talking again, so he turns back. He does that about 4 times. It is quite amusing. Right, so Shad starts telling Nanelia about life on Akir, about the fields and the wind and all that. She doesn't know what wind is, so he describes it as like rapid ventilation, but bigger. And then the robot says, it's dangerous out there, forms preying on other forms, death. And then he talks about the Huttites in the Black Galaxy, who children have no immune system for, I presume, 5 years. They're 5 cycles, I presume they mean 5 years. They live in a bag or something, I don't know. And Scottish Geek guys here. Howdy, folks. Hello, Jimmy. How are you doing? We're doing Battle Beyond the Stars. And I'm just describing the Hittites or Huttites, whatever. And they're kids that'll just rot to nothing. He's describing this to her, and it sounds horrible. Huttites. Oh, there we go. But he describes all this to her, how the kids usually die, and it's all, there's death and stuff out there. But he says it's beautiful. I thought, for Christ's sake, could have told her something nice. Told her about roses and swans and stuff like that. Not bloody children dying. But anyway, so he says he's going back, and she's going to help him. So she tells this robot to step into the captor grid. So he says, I'll remind you, if I do that, it will overload or whatever. So she says, so in he goes. There we go. So he walks into it. Hang on, I've gone too far. Back, there we go. There we go. Cool effects. Cool 80s effects. So he can escape now. And he say, come with me. He says, I can't leave my father. And then she changes her mind instantly. Well, almost instantly. So off he goes without the weapons. He went there for weapons and he ain't got any. But never mind. He does find some. So they're heading out, and she's changed her mind. She's going to go to her little ship that she's got here, which is a cool little ship. It looks really comfy, and I want one. But anyway, so there we go. So there we go. Off she goes. Pew! Flies off after Shad, leaving her father with all his robots. Who's going to look after the androids now? Don't know. She doesn't care. He's dead. He's going to just have a rotting head on top of his egg. But anyway. But she's no weapons, and but she does have an analyzer so that they can work out a strategy against the Malmordi. So that's what she's there for. She's the brains, is Nanelia. And Nell were talking, and she says, who's that? It's just Nell. Why don't you just say, it's the ship's computer? But he don't. Right, so he's heading off somewhere else, is Shad, and he says, well, I'll meet you in the Lambda Zone. So they're heading off in different directions. He's heading off to find, who does he meet next? I think it's Cowboy next. But he's also heading for another planet, and I forgot what it's called, but we'll find out. Where he meets Robert Vaughn. But meanwhile, here's the Malmordi, the Hammerhead ship. The Umatails have sent back their own envoy. He said the envoy has returned from Umatail, and they've powdered him. They put he's in a bag and they've powdered him. There you go. And he throws it in. I don't know what this fella's called. He throws it in his face. They are a proud form. He says in an hour there'll be an extinct one. So he's going to wipe out Umatail. This is where we learn that Shad fancies Nanelia. But anyway, right, so they come across Space Cowboy, which is George Peppard. Highway to the Lambda Zone. Anyway, right, so Space Cowboy with his ship that we don't know what that's called either is being attacked by jackers, hijackers, space jackers, whatever you want to call them. And he's towing that's his ship there, and this is what he's towing. It's a cargo ship, and he's being attacked. There you go. And they'll incinerate him and steal his load, and we learn that he's carrying weapons, but that's not yet. But he's seemed very calm. Apparently, most of the budget, the $2 million, most of that $2 million went on George Peppard and Robert Vaughn's salaries. And I think George Peppard were pretty drunk for most of this film, from what I've read. He's got a drink in his hand there, look. Pardon me. Speaking of which. There. Anyways, just singing away. As he's being attacked, there were 6 purdy maidens to sing. Because he's a poor cowboy. There we go. So he's calling for an SOS. and Shad decides to help out. Here's the jackers attaching themselves to his ship. It was. But Shad's going to help. He says he's never taken a life before, and Nell reminds him that the Varda says you can take life to save life. So locking onto a target, and she says locked on. He says not from behind. He won't shoot somebody from behind because he's got scruples. Like stabbing somebody in the back, I suppose. I don't know. But he says not from behind, but Nell fires without him. Hang on, as we see it, there we go. Nell fired without him, and Shad's horrified because, that which is not organic shall not take the life of whatever it is, or whatever, like the Asimov's laws. And there you go. That which is not organic must not harm that which is. I know it's a stupid rule, she says. Just stupid. So, even then the AIs are out to get you. Anyway, so they carry on. They're getting attacked now by the other jackers. So he basically makes short work of them all. Here we see him attaching again. There we go. Shooting away at him. Pew, pew. There we go. And they polish them off. And to the... what's the word? I can't believe the thing. My brain stopped working all of a sudden. And Cowboy's happy about that, right? That's what I'm trying to say. Much of the relief. That's what I'm trying to think of. Why couldn't I think of relief? Much of the relief of Space Cowboy, whose name we don't find out. Right, so we learn that he's going to Umateel with his cargo, which we learn are hand weapons later on. 10,000 Mac Laser 4s and 40,000 charge slides he's got. But he's taking them to Umateel, because obviously the Umateelans are preparing to fight back against Sador. But even Cowboy saying, fighting Sador's never lost a war. You go up against Sador, you've got a snowball's chance in hell. But yet he's delivering weapons to people that are about to fight Sador. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know that. It didn't take the life of the organics. It just removed the container that was allowing them to exist in an inhospitable environment. Yes. Yeah. That's one way of looking at it. Or it just murdered some people. For all we know, we don't even know there might not have been anybody in there. There might have been AIs, for all we know, robots. Anyway. Right, so... bit of a continuity error there. If you notice his hat, there you go. He's got his hat up there, and the very next shot is down there. Continuity error. Jimmy T. Murakami, you're fired. You rubbish. Right, so transmission from planet Umateel. I always thought it was Umateo, but I was Umateel. Sador's arrived and is activating the stellar converter, which reminds me of something from like Forbidden Planet or something like that, when it's all lit up. But he's going to fire on it, on the Umateel. So there we go, stellar converter. And there you go, pew! And it basically sends a beam into the planet, and it must do something in the core maybe, and it starts nuclear reactions. It basically turns the planet into a sun. There we go. There we go. Killing everything on it, obviously. There you go. It says, Umateel, that was my customer. How would you like 10,000 Mac Laser 4s and 40,000 charge slides? They're paid for and haven't got the fuel to get them home. And Shad says, well, we're going to need weapons. And he goes, yeah. He says, but we won't know how to use them. And we could use somebody to teach us how to use them. And we did save your life. And he goes, all right then. I'll help you since you did save my life. So there you go. He's going to set up their ground defences. So now he's going to show him Custer's Last Stand, because he watches old movies on long hauls. Meanwhile, Nanelia's arrived in the Lambda Zone, and she's been attacked by something from Star Trek, the original series. Looks like it, doesn't it? And it's a Zyme or something. but it's attacking her ship and it's all blowing up. But then another ship arrives. Oh, we've gone past it. There we go. Another ship arrives and shoots at it and makes it disappear. But it doesn't make it disappear. It's still there because the ship that's arrived is Cayman of the Lambda Zone, who is a lazuli. It's like a reptilian life form. But it mustn't have killed the Zyme because later on he says they've captured it. They must have some sort of net. Maybe that was a net or something that they caught it in. But anyway, they're taking the Nelius ship inside. Look, cool effects for the budget. Remember, $2 million, not a lot, is it? And remember, most of that went on 2 actors. So I don't know what the effects budget was, but they're doing a pretty good job, I think. And same with the sets. The sets are fine as well. Probably reused from other stuff. I imagine. Anyway, she's all in here, all hot and sweaty, look. Hanging there. And there we go. Here's Cayman of the Lambda Zone. And he's going to sell her. He's going to sell her into slavery or whatever. Oh, pardon me. So he introduces his crew. This is, I forgot, Quo Peck or something. There we go, they're Zymers, because the creature that attacked was a Zyme, a creature that feeds on living organisms. Well, most creatures do, don't they? But, you go, we're Zymers, and this is my crew. And they cook them down for their protein. He's Cayman of the Lambda Zone. These are his crew. There we go. Urim and Tunim, which are Kelvin. There we go. They're creatures that communicate in degrees of heat. They don't have ears and they can't talk, apparently. But they use heat to communicate. And then the other fella is, where is he? Quopeg. His says my Kuna. I always thought he said Puna. I thought it was like the fella from Moby Dick. With the harpoon. I thought that's what he was. Well, anyway, he's the one with the big muscles. But anyway, that's where we learn he's going to sell her. He's going to get some heavy dust, which is money, I suppose. And she says, you'll sell me. And she tries to talk him out, saying, the hiring mercenaries for a great battle on the planet Akir. And he says, well, what can the planet Akir offer me? And she says, they have the richest molybdenum deposits in the system. And he says, nice try, hot stuff. But I've seen Akir and there's absolutely nothing there that interests me. So she gets angry then. He says, you're cruel and heartless, just like Sador. And that hits a nerve. And he goes, dun, 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 Sador of the Malmori. And she says, that's who we're fighting against. He says, still lives, does he? So he decides to help him then because he's got a grudge against Sador. Essentially, Sador wiped out the Lazuli. And Cayman's the last one. So he says, cut the Zyme free. We cruise for Akir. All dramatically. Like that. Oh, there you go. There you go. We cruise for Akir. And goes, exit stage left. Right, so off they go. So we got them. We've got Space Cowboy. We've got Nenelia, Space Cowboy, Cayman. So how many more have we got to find? 4 more people. Right. Or 3 more. 3 more. Because we've got to include Shad, haven't we? Shad's one. So 3 more to find. Right. We're going to meet Nestor. We're being pulled in. Somebody's got a tractor beam on them, sort of thing. It's where we see that's like a flying saucer. Is it going to show us it, for Christ's sake? Bloody skip function. There we go. Like a flying saucer. That's something off. I forgot what they called them. Remember in the original Battlestar Galactica, that ship that were all white? I forgot what they called them. Looks like a bit like that, doesn't it? But different. But anyway, so here we go. So it basically is powerless against it, and it must beam him aboard. I don't know, but there's a bright light, and he's in with the prophets in the Bajoran wormhole. He's not. So we see these 5 people around a console. It's their TARDIS, isn't it? It's like their TARDIS, I suppose. So maybe the Time Lords in a different form. So he gets his gun out. There's seraphs. I don't know. Is that what they called them? I don't know. I can't remember. It's that long since I've seen it. Shad gets his gun out and he says, don't everybody talk at once. And he says, what's the big deal and all that. But the speak with their mind and all that. And this is Earl Bowen as they're called Nestor. They're all the same. They're essentially clones, but of a single consciousness, like the Borg, but different. And Earl Bowen, who you may know as Dr. Silberman in the Terminator films. So there he is. Anyway, hang on, where are we? There we go. So there we go. Oh, and they use their telekinetic powers to turn Shad's gun on himself. So he says, "Okay, I won't hurt you." Right. So anyway, they want to participate. They've been monitoring his transmissions, and they want to participate in his adventure because being of a single mind, an entire race of a single mind, they get bored. So they want a bit of excitement. So that's what these 5 facets, they call them, these 5 facets of Nestor, they want to join in. There's hundreds of thousands of them scattered across the galaxy, we learn. So that's what they're going to do. What is it? These 5 facets, yes. They need 4 to operate the ship, and they always carry a spare. There's only one consciousness. I want to see how many there are. I can't remember. Well, maybe I've missed it. But anyway, they want to join in. Don't let Riker know they're clones. Does he not like? I can't bloody remember. What's Riker got against clones? Don't know. You'd have to remind me, Windgrace. Anywho, back at Akir. I forgot the bloody names now. Tembo and I forgot his bloody name. Hang on, Tembo. Where are you? And Kalo. That's it. Tembo and Kalo are monitoring something going on down on the planet's surface. There we go. There's a wedding going on. Saying, "Look, Kalo, females." Oh, and apparently this writing, this the Malmori writing, is Hebrew. There you go. And apparently there's some Hebrew words in the dialogue as well. So I don't know what John Sayles. Is John Sayles Jewish? I've no idea. But anyway. Season 2, he phasered a bunch of clones in their tubes, did he? Oh, right. Don't remember that one. Anyway. There's a wedding going on. And I'm sure this is Shad's sister, Moll, who's officiating the wedding. Let's see if it tells us. See if it says. No, it doesn't, does it? But she's doing the honours, and I'm sure it's his sister. But they want to intercede and grab Moll. So down they go to the planet and interrupt the wedding. And everybody scatter, but they beam her up, so they don't have teleporting technology. There she is. And as we see, there we go. Cool. So and off they go. And they basically have their wicked way with Shad's sister. I think it's his sister. So we don't see her again. Anyway. Right, Shad's arrived at this planet, and I can't remember what it's called. They say in a minute. But it's all done in on the surface is the planet. Cool shots of it flying over the ruins and stuff. I can't see any strings, but anyway. So here it comes in for a landing. So again, you can see wearing stuff from like Terminator, the first Terminator, and Aliens and all that. It's all there, isn't it? In James Cameron's mind and the way he does effects and the lighting and all that. It's all there. Anyway, so another cool shot. I presume is that just a matte painting, or is it the model in front of a matte painting? I don't know, but it looks cool anyway. Kind of reminds me a bit of I forgot the bloody name of the planet now. In Star Wars, Episode 2. where the building, the droid factory is. Oh, what do they call it now? That planet, anyway, it reminds me of that. The racist Irish. Oh, is it that one? Oh, right. That one. Looks a bit like a video game loading screen. It doesn't. It looks amazing. That Irish episode, by the way, TNG, were banned in the UK for a while because it mentions the IRA. Well, it wasn't banned. They edited out the reference to the IRA in it. Because, as you know, we've had problems with the IRA over the years. But anyway, I meant that in a good way. Oh, right, fair enough. But it still looks cool anyway. Right. I wish I could remember the name of this planet. Does it say? Let's have a check. It is Shad's sister. Yes, Shad's sister Moll is captured by Malmori pilots. Yes. Right. Where's Shad gone here now? I'm trying to find it. It's here somewhere. It don't bloody mention it, does it? Typical. Let's see where Gelt's from. Anyway. Right, so he's checking it out in his space suit, and then something happens here. There's some sort of explosion or something. He lifts that lid, and it all collapses, and he falls in. He lifts that up, and then there you go. Something blew him back, and he landed in there, and he falls down into this tunnel. Speaking of Star Trek, it looks very Star Trek tunnel set, doesn't it? Anyway, and he finds all this dusty, cobwebbed equipment that looks like it's been rented from, sci-fi consoles, Arrows. But anyway. Is this a drug dispenser? I think this is a drug dispenser. He's pressing buttons, and it's dispensing drugs. And this is a dial a date. And he looks at some pictures. Oh, what am I doing? Some pictures of some sexy ladies, and then he's going, oh, I say. And then he picks the last one, and it goes up, and we see some zombie lady or whatever. I don't know. She's not dead because she opens her eyes. I don't know. I don't think it's supposed to make sense. So anyway, so off he goes. He's walking backwards from the zombie lady. But then Gelt starts shooting at him like that. He says, "What the?" And we see him on his throne, surrounded by all his treasures that he has acquired over the years, because Gelt is a hitman and has been very well paid. And he thinks Shad's there to kill him. And so Shad explains what he's there for. Hiring mercenaries to save them from Sador. And this is where he's telling them there's nobody left. There's just him and the lower forms. That's what that woman must have been. She's one of the lower forms. Walking Dead plague planet, essentially, yeah. What happened? Apparently this planet, I forgot the name of the planet. I wish I could remember the name of the planet. Okay. Anyway. Because this planet were like loads of mercenaries on it, it seems, and it like the Vegas, I suppose, of that area. The other local systems gathered an army and cleared them out because they made them nervous. So, but there's only him left. There's only Gelt left. There you go. He made them nervous. So he says, "So, what's your pitch?" So he tells him what he wants him to do. But he says, our culture is our only wealth and all that, and with nothing to pay you. And he says, well, what else would I kill for? And he says, pleasure. He says, no, with me it's strictly business. Food and shelter is all they can offer in payment. And he says he could buy their planet 10 times over with what is gathered in this room. There you go, plutonium. Hope it's in a lead box, cadmium, qualine crystals, whatever they are. He's been very well paid. And he says, I'm sorry for bothering you then. And he starts walking out, does Shad. There you go, sorry to have wasted your time. And then he says, wait. So he agrees, he's going to go with him, his gelt. And he says, that's his payment, a meal and a place to hide, which we learn later on. We come back to later on. Oh, there you go. Oh, wow, that's the one. Listen to the rest of it. He sleeps with his back to the wall and he eats serpents 7 times a week. Why serpent? I have no idea. Is that all there is? He can't spend his money. He can't go near a civilised system. He can't go anywhere to spend his money. He's as much a prisoner there as if he were an actual prison. So he says, so your offer sounds very good to him, a meal and a place to hide. So that's what they're doing. So, right, so that's another one. So, all we got so far. We've got Shad, Nanelia, Cowboy, Cayman, Gelt, Nestor. One more to go. Who we're going to meet next? Right. So, right. Oh, wow. A ship's coming up behind her, and it's a little behind them, and it's a little tiny ship. But Nell says, well, in some parts of the galaxy, that could be a pretty big ship. And what's it? She says somebody's as big as your hand, but there's some pretty tough customers. I can't remember what she calls them. They go, some galaxies, that would be a big ship. They go, Thalians are much bigger than your hand, but there's some bad customers. So I want to see a Thalian now. But anyway, the ship fires on him in just like a blank, as like a challenge. And so Shad's all for it. And but Nell won't help. She says, they're just playing with you. Forget about it. There you go. That's the blank that they fired. A challenge. And so Shad's, I'm going to take him out. And Nell's saying, well, do it yourself because you're outmatched. They could fly rings round you. So you take out a couple of jackers and suddenly you think you're the scourge of the galaxy. But there you go. So anyway, so he can't outmaneuver the ship, and says he shoots at him again, and then we have a transmission. There's where we meet. There she is, the lovely Sybil Danning as St. Exmin of the Valkyrie, and it was an enjoyable fight, and I think this film, when it was rented, it probably went back with lots of lines on certain parts of this this film. Because when I was a kid, there were how many? Who were there now? There was several women who were my first crushes as a young teenager, I suppose. There was Sybil Danning because of this. There were the Caroline Munro. What's the face? Oh, bloody hell. Valerie Leon, both that were in that James Bond film, Spy Who Loved Me, and I forgot her name. You'll have to go and watch me top 20 sexiest Hollywood stars. They're in there. Tanya Roberts, that was the other one, Tanya Roberts. They were my first crushes as a young teen. Anyway, right, so it's where we learn she's from like a warrior race and she's out, looking for adventure and battles to fight and stuff like that. So, but he doesn't want to know because she's embarrassed him apparently because she's tougher than he is, and she wants to take part, but he rebuffs her. So I wouldn't rebuff her. Anyway, so he says, "Go count your coup somewhere else," and. But she follows them anyway. So so the 7 are assembled. So we get to see them in a minute. Oh, they're all introducing themselves to each other. Oh, yeah, princess. Welcome, Nestor. It says, "Oh, we are pleased to meet you." And Cowboy says, "Oh, how many's in there?" I'll explain to you later. Then what? Why? Then he meets Gelt. And he says, "Hello." But before that, he said to Nestor, "I'm Space Cowboy from planet Earth. You know where that is?" And they said, no. Oh, no. Have you ever heard of it? They said, no, but we're pleased to meet you. Apparently nobody knows about Earth. And then he says to Gelt, I'm from planet Earth. You know where that is? He goes, I was born in space. But anyway, so he keeps a scanner on their tail, does Gelt. See, we're seeing the ships arriving, then the Neely's arriving with Cayman. And there you go. He says, I'm only in this for Sador. I want his head. There you go. So I said, well, you're welcome to it. And then finally, there's St. X-Men following him. And said, there's somebody else. And he says, oh, just ignore her. Maybe she'll go away. But so then we see the 7 ships that are going to save Akir in a minute. When it shows them, it does show them all at once. It goes through them, look. It goes through them. Oh, we're going to... So we've got Space Cowboy. Space Cowboy and Shad's ship. I wish they'd given them names. Cayman and St. X-Men, and I presume in between them we'll have seen the others. There's Gelt's ship and Nanelia's being there somewhere as well. There she is. There's Nanelia's. And Nestor. Where's Nestor? Where's Nestor? Come on, Nestor. Where are you? Come on, Nestor. Oh, not showing us. But anyway, there we see them all there together. There's Shad and Nestor and Nanelia and Cayman. It's a big ship, is Cayman, isn't it? And Gelt. Where's Cowboy? Oh, it's down there next to Shad. And bringing up the rear, fna, is St. X-Men. Right. And of course, Kalo and Tembo detect these 7 ships approaching. And says, there's 7, what do we do? And they run away. So that's what they do. So they head out into space, but Gelt pursues because he's a professional. But he's gaining on them. And then he's going to shoot them because he's super ace. Hang on, there we go. He's gaining on us, but here comes Shad's sister. They've obviously, not been nice to her, have they? And so she's going to distract them, so Gelt can get a shot off. So there you go. So off he goes. He destroys them just like that. So that's the end of Shad's sister. He doesn't even mention her. he don't go down. Maybe there was a scene written, I don't know. Maybe he learns that his sister's disappeared. Because obviously they don't know. It's the last scene at that wedding, I suppose. But she's vanished. But doesn't know what's happened. She's presumed dead, I suppose. But maybe he never finds out. Maybe she's just missing. Anyway. Right, so here they go, all coming in to land on the surface of Akir. It's a barren, bloody hole, innit? Anyway, they all arrive in the studio. And Cayman saying, welcome the conquering heroes. But they're all hiding other people. And I saw a scene similar to this in something else recently, and I can't remember what it was. But it just reminded me of this. What was it? Was it a Star Trek episode? I can't remember. No, it can't have been. I can't remember. I saw a similar scene and I thought, that reminded me of Back Beyond the Stars. There we go. They're not accustomed to hiding. They're not accustomed to violence or violent forms. And St. X-Men says, that's a hell of a note. But they come out. Here comes Zed. Welcome to Akir. And then the others come out. Why have you been hiding? They're all been afraid. These people have come to save your life, but he's checking out St. X-Men, isn't he? Don't blame him. Anyway, so this lady, I don't know who she is. I presume she's got a name. Let's have a look. I have no idea. I think she might be Lux. Yes, I think she is. She's Lux. She falls for Space Cowboy. Anyway. Okana. I don't know. Don't know. Okana what? Anyway. Right, where were we? All right, they welcome them then, and so so they're all welcome, welcome to Akir and all that stuff, and then this lass here goes straight to Quopeg, checking out his muscles. Look what, hang on, there she goes. Look at your muscles. Ooh, you're a big chap, aren't you? The Star Trek episode, I was randomly guessing. I don't know. I can't. You mean the outrageous O'Connor? I always pronounce it O'Connor, but it's O'Connor, isn't it? That's all I can think of. No, it wasn't that one. It wasn't that one. If that's what you mean, it might not have been a Star Trek episode. I did see it on something. I can't remember what it was. Oh, my memory. Terrible. Anyway, this is the analyzer she's brought. She can work out a defence against the Malmori. And so she's telling them all about what's going to happen when the ship arrives. What happens? It's got to lower part of its shields when it fires the stellar converter. But it's got lots of fighters defending it. So they've got to basically strip the big ship of its defences, destroy all the fighters, and then destroy the stellar converter when they lower the shields. It's a bit like Independence Day, although this were first, in that they can destroy the main weapon once the shields are down. But anyway, so that's what they do. There, they've got 25 fighters. They've got 5 fighting ships. So what are the 5 fighting ships? Because we see 6 of the ships. We actually see all of them fighting. Because Space Cowboy says his ship's got no weapons, it's not armed. But then later on we see it shooting. So maybe somebody helped him. Maybe somebody armed his ship. I don't know. Nestor probably helped out. And who else? Are they not counting? Oh, no, not counting Nenelia's ship, are they? Nenelia's ship hasn't got weapons, has it? But anyway. So there we go. It's got a lower part of its force field in order to fire, but they've got to get through the fighters. And this is where they're digging the trenches using some sort of sonic device. Does it say what they call it? She says here somewhere. Hang on, let's go back again. It's got a name. Oh, just got the sensor. I thought it had some cool name. The sensor. Using the vibration from the sensor to dig the ditches, and Space Cowboy says, trenches, we're having a war. Is it just, I don't know how it works. Is it some sort of sonic technology? I don't know. In the same way that the pyramids were built, some people think, using sonic methods. But anyway, we see that the trenches being created, look, just sinking into the ground. I presume they just hope that that's where the Malmori are going to land. I don't know. Maybe it is. But or maybe they're doing it all around the city. I don't know. But anyway, they build that. It's like a maze that they've created. There we go. So, right. This is the next scene coming up, is the one that probably ended up with lots of lines on from the video store. But first we see Cowboy have a drink, a scotch and soda, there we go, with a couple of ice cubes for measure. This is the scene that probably got paused a lot with St. X-Min saying she basically wants to seduce Shad. But she's going to teach Nenelia all about sex. And Nenelia says, I can't imagine what it's like. And she says, stick with me, you'll get an education. This is where the film sort of like, gets a million times more interesting, but then we don't see it. So never mind. Maybe it's the same way the Tokra tunnels work. Maybe so, because it's a big crystal, isn't it? So maybe so. Vibrations, crystals vibrate, don't they? It's like quartz. So, but that'll be what it is. Anyway, right. The ship's on its way back. The Hammerhead. They're trying to get in touch with Kalo and Tembo, but they can't get through because obviously they're being destroyed. And this Sador says they must have, they probably just slammed their ship into an asteroid. And this is where he says, why can't my mutants be intelligent? There we go. I have an army full of genetic mistakes. So why can't my mutants be intelligent like Eli? Who's Eli? I have no idea. Doesn't tell us. But apparently Eli's an intelligent mutant, apparently. Anyway. So, anyway, they're on the way back. Right. Oh, why? Nanelia wants Shad to show her the ropes. Shad says, what do you mean? He says, St. X-Men said, been teaching her all about procreation. Pardon me. So she wants to know all about it. He says, it's, birds and the bees. It's quite simple. Males and females. There's only two sexes. On so-and-so they have three or whatever. Anyway. Says, no, just two. And then says, do you have kissing? So anyway, there they start kissing because they're in love. Anyway. And then she notices his talk bar slipped its groove. And so he's going to need a new one. So he gets all awkward and bangs his head. And there we go, like that. And because we've been kissing. Right. They're in the trenches now, all just waiting. And Space Cowboy's playing his harmonica. Giving it all that. Must be a SGU sequel. With all the sex. Anyway. He's playing his harmonica and frying hot dogs over the Kelvin. I think, where's the fire? But obviously using the Kelvin, aren't they? To heat the hot dogs. And Nestor is interested in this. He says, what's that you're heating? There we go. And he says, it's a hot dog. He says, what's that? He says, it's from Earth. And he gives, you want one? So what he does, he gives him one. There you go. And so that one eats it and all the others chew it. Because they're of a single consciousness. Is that how it works? Don't know. I meant Eli. But sex works too. Oh, yeah, Eli were in SGU, wasn't he? I was thinking of the sex. Of course, there were sexes, weren't there, in SGU? Well, in the first episode, we met Lieutenant What's-Her-Face with the boobs and the other lieutenant, Brian Smith. I forgot the name of his character. In the closet, wasn't there? Banging away. Anyway. Right, so where were we? Hot dogs. Right. Where's my mouse pointer gone? There it is. Right, so it says there's no dog in this. There you go, no dog in this. And then he goes through what's in it. And there you go. Hydrolyzed vegetable protein, soybean meal, niacin, dextrose, and sodium nitrate flavouring. And Cowboy says, yes, that's what we call meat back home. Very funny. Then these two go up to Gelt, these two young teen actors who are crap. And it's a very awkward exchange. Mister, are you a bad man? I think it's supposed to be like a western, in it, I suppose. So it's supposed to be like, innocent young prairie kids or whatever, but they ask him if he's a bad man, and he says, well, I think differently, and in some places, if you think differently, you're called bad. And then she says, how do you feel? And I said, I didn't say I felt, I said I think. But never mind. And then he says, I don't. Anyway, right. Then the alarm goes off on the sensor, and of course the ship's approaching. So they're all got to get to their ships. Dun 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 dun. All that's going off. The music. So Cowboy says, yeah, see you later, hot blood. And then, where is she? Oh no, she's gone already. Where is she? St. X-Men says, there we go, in a snazzy outfit. It says, see you later, hot blood. And then Cowboy's going off to do the ground defences, remember, and Gelt just looks wistfully up at the stars. Right. off they go. Our cowboy, we're going to sod off. That were it. We're going to leave, and he asks Lux, if that is her name, to go with him. Says, "You'll like Earth. Come with me." And she says the census range is only 3 mil marks, whatever that is. Isn't that from Alf? And I think it's mil marks, millimarks. Oh, whatever. I thought he said mil marks. So he said, Sador would detect any ship taking off, he'd destroy you. So he's got to stay there as Space Cowboy. So he's going to help him fight. And then he has another drink. He gets another drink, and she says, "You forgot your ice and soda." And he says, "No, I didn't." So there we go. So anyway, so here we go. Some ships are approaching. So obviously somebody's come to help them. And so she's saying, "I'm an X-Men of the Valkyrie. I've got boobs and I'm going to kill you." But so they go shooting. Oh, this is weird. They're all like, some of them have like joysticks and stuff and control things, and others like just pressing buttons, like in Star Trek. Next Generation, but this is long before Next Generation. Oh, here he is, look. Pressing buttons, doing it on the keyboard. I'm going to show it again. Never mind. Shows him later on going up his keyboard, going up the keys, firing his guns. Most peculiar. But anyway, is this it? No, it didn't. Never mind. So anyway, so it's first space battle. She's shooting away. Doesn't do much. I think she blows up a couple of ships. Shad is going to fight some as well. This is the first battle. But they don't accomplish a great deal, to be honest. I think Gelt gets hit. He takes out a couple of ships, but then he gets hit himself. That's it. Nuclear missiles are launched. Can you see it? There it is. It's a nuclear missile. It glows red. Looks like a photon torpedo. But says the only thing you can do is outrun these. You can't shoot them, apparently, although they do try it later on. With some success. There you go. So he's got to outrun it. So he says, right, so we're going to head right back to Sador. We're going to shove this right down his throat. So this is what they do. Look, he's heading for Sador's ship. And then they veer off at the last minute, and the missile hits Sador's ship and knocks out one of his engines. A nuclear missile. Must be a big ship. Right, what's happening next? So, Gelt is attacking. There we go. He gets hit. Hang on, let's go back again. There we go. They're shooting him. There goes. Caught him in a crossfire, didn't they? There you go. Wow. Caught him in a crossfire. So he knows he's going down. He tells them, have a nice fight. So down he goes with a sound effect that's straight out of War of the Worlds. Hang on, see if I can I'll go back again. I'll mute it. Straight out of War of the Worlds. In a minute. Straight out of War of the Worlds, that, innit? The 1953 War of the Worlds. Anyway, so that's Gelt out, is the first one to go down. Meanwhile, the Malmori are landing their forces on Akir. Here we go. Cool shots, mixtures of model work and set work and, real people and foreground and background miniatures and all that stuff. It's like James Cameron were doing all this. This film's effects were better than they had every right to be, didn't they? Anyway, behave you, Fanny Ann. What are you doing? See, the cat's starting now. She's naughty. Anyway, right, Cowboy's leading his troops into battle. Well, they're dressed for it, aren't they? But here they go. So he comes out, look. Comes out whistling, smoking his cigarette. Then all the baddie soldiers, in black, obviously, arrive. So shooting ensues. All that going off. There we go. Pew, 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 pew. And what they do, they like have walls and stuff that they can move about, and they block off some areas and trap soldiers and murder them. But then they bring out the sonic cannon. There we go, and that obviously uses sonic waves, and it makes people's ears bleed like that. Blood spraying out of his ears. So they can't get anywhere near it. So they're going to try a rock slide. It doesn't work. That fella that were moaning at the beginning, about Shad, being a boy and Zed being an old man, he gets killed. And then we cut to a quiet time now where everybody's old, all their ears are bleeding, they don't know what to do. And there we go. The Kelvin volunteer to help because they've got no ears, so the sonic cannon won't work on them, or at least it won't make their ears bleed. At least. So they're going to take out the sonic cannon, as we'll see. So they're waiting here as the sonic cannon approaches, and they step out. Hang on. There we go. They step out and basically radiate heat. See, you're being daft, aren't you? Oh, bloody cat. I'll just go let the cat out just a minute. You're an idiot. What are you? My cat's mental. Space Cowboy's my favourite, then Gelt. It's an X-Men for the win. Right, so they've taken out the Kelvin have taken out the sonic cannon with their heat, and there we go. They do more heat. Look, I like how they do this. I don't know. Is this an in-camera effect, or is it something they added after? Those like waves of heat coming off. It's very subtle. That ain't, but anyway. So they do that, and then they collapse because they've gone cold. So they've got to get them to something. She says, "Oh, the protein tank." So either the protein tank will recharge them, or they're just going to eat them. Is that what the protein tank's for? They're just going to put them in and melt them down. I don't know. I presume they're going to help them. But we don't see him again. So anyway. So I'm going to say that they're dead. Anyway, right. So what's next? More battles go on. More shooting. Quopeg the Pooner. There we go. Gets two in one go there somehow. And then Zed just wanders into a battlefield, blind man. Takes out a couple of soldiers, or at least one. Hang on. Batters somebody to death. There we go. Batters a Malmori to death. But then gets shot for his troubles. So Zed's dead. That rhymes. And Nell gets a transmission almost immediately, it seems, that Zed... She says Zed the Corsair, or whatever. There you go. Zed the Corsair has ended. What the hell does that mean? I don't know, but anyway. So, that's Zed dead anyway. So, I think that's the end of the first skirmish now. They all head back. There's a bit of a lull. Don't know why there's a ceasefire. I don't know. You think like Sador would be pouring on the pressure, but there seems to be a quiet moment. Zed is clearly supposed to be a big Ben Kenobi standing. Well, yeah, sort of. Sort of. But without the Force. And he's blind. So they're dealing with their injured. And this, I think we see Gelt here now. Gelt's all badly burned and dying in a minute. St. X-Men comes in. She's all excited. There we go. She made her spaceship slam into an asteroid, and it's all super ace to her. She's having a whale of a time, and he says, this is all fun and games to you, but these are my people. And that hat she's got on looks very dodgy, doesn't it? But never mind. This movie doesn't have enough slow motion grain. not Rebel Moon. I mean, Sci-Fi Quest likes this film, and it's just like Rebel Moon, apart from the slow motion. Anyway, so there we go. So he tells her off, and then she says, "I'm sorry. I know about you. I'm sorry. I know about your Vada, but we exist for battle, and the Valkyrie have one saying: live fast. I forgot what it bloody is. Fight hard. What is it? There we go. Live fast, fight well, and have a beautiful ending." And he says, "No violent ending is beautiful." And she says, "You've never seen a Valkyrie go down." Anyway, then he's off to see Gelt. There we go. Not looking well, is he? He's got all raspberry jam on his face. So he's dying. They can't do anything to help him. And then he dies. And so they say, he says, prepare a meal and bury it with him, because that was our deal. A meal and a place to hide. So that's what he does. That was our arrangement. Right. So, it's Nestor's turn now. If this movie had a budget, I'd probably like it much less. Yes, it's got charm, hasn't it? It's just got a low budget, and they're doing the best they can. It gives it charm, doesn't it? Right, Nestor is next. Apparently, one of their troop has arranged to be captured. So, because they've got a plan. I'm not exactly sure. Did they know what were going to happen to this other one? But anyway, they're gonna, what one sees, all see, and so they might get a look inside what's happening with Sador. And what's going to happen? They're going to chop off his arm and give it to Sador. Anyway, so we're introduced to Doko. There we go. It's spelt Dako, but they pronounce it Doko. He's going to chop off his arm and give it to Sador, and that process kills the Nestor. Oh, and he does all this all this fancy, giving it all that. Instead of just pressing a button, he's doing all that. You ready? Show us in a minute. Don't know what he's doing that for. I better make sure we're still going on, because I'm playing. I keep playing clips. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. I'll just make sure there's no other messages. Right. Talk about arming your troops. Yes. I don't know what he wanted this other arm. Maybe his other arm wasn't working properly. Was it in a sling or something earlier on? I think it was, wasn't it? Anyway, they've taken the Nestor's arm. There we go. They're gonna pop it on with. It's all gone all manky as that arm, isn't it? So they're gonna swap it for that other one. Right. So, quick work. I'm presuming some time has passed, but anyway. So it says, Doko, you're an artist. But it says when you've got time, as you can see, the Nestor only have 3 fingers. There you go. It says an artist, but when you have a few minutes, you must do something. Hang on. I've gone too far now. There you go. Must do something about this, and he holds the glove up. Right. So now is their plan. So they must have known that they're going to take his arm, because now they're going to use their mind powers and control the arm of one of their kind, and try and get Sador to kill himself. Look, they're make him get his knife out. There you go, and to try and kill himself. Is it a dak tag or whatever they call it? A Klingon looks a bit like it, doesn't it? A little bit. But he's obviously, he can't do it. They stop him from doing it, and he says, "Cut the arm." So he's got to cut his arm off. There you go. So they've failed. Oh, we've failed. There's nothing more we can do. And they've lost their spare as well now, haven't they? And I think Shad says we're finished, and she says, "I don't know about you, but Valkyrie never give up." And there you go. Never admit defeat. Never, 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 never. Right. So, and then Nestor quotes Spock. Maybe before or after Spock said it, I don't know. Did Spock say this in the original series? I can't remember. But while life exists, the possibilities are unlimited. Paraphrasing. Right, so what's happening now? Nelia says she wants to go up with Shad in sort of like the final attack. She says it's her life. She wants to risk it, and she wants to be with Shad because they love each other. Look, you can tell. Look, snogging. All right, and Nell says, "Oh, now I've got 2 babies to look forward to." There we go. To look after. I mean, it says, "Nell, shut you up." Right. So we're getting ready for the final battle. It's cauterizing Sador's arm. Says, "This is it. The planet's gonna burn. Launch all the ships." So they're launching all the ships. Oh, this is the fella giving on his keyboard. He thinks he's bloody Rick Wakeman or somebody, doesn't he? What they're shooting at? I've no idea. What's he shooting at? But he's going up his keyboard. Wonder who it is that. Come on, show. There he is. Look. Shooting at nothing. But anyway, right, they're all at it as well. They all come shoot. They all come flying out. Here the guy shooting blindly into space. But anyway, so who we got left? We've got Shad, we've got Nestor, we've got Cayman, and we've got St. Exmin still, haven't we? And Cowboy heads up to help them in a bit. What's that there? But this is Cayman, isn't it, I think? Is it? Yes, this is Cayman. He's heading in, and so's St. Exmin. Is this where he does his battle cry? No, it's in a bit. But he goes in shooting, and so does she. They take out some fighters, obviously. Nestor goes in. His ship's got like phasers, as we'll see. Oh, for Pete's sake. As we'll see in a minute. Here it is. I'm going to show it. Show it! I'm going to sneeze. Oh, good heavens. Oh, dear. Come on. Show it shooting. Because it's got cool blue phasers. Oh, for God's sake. Go back again. Come on, show us. No, not you. Come on, show us. There we go. A blue phaser beam it's got. Anyway. But that gets hit. There we go. It's out of control. It says, Nestor's hit. Oh, no. And then they get taken out by a cool shot from the main ship, from the hammerhead. Kaboom. That's another one gone. Din. And he's ready in the stellar converter. Oh, no. He's going to aim it at the planet and turn it into a sun. He's bringing out the stellar converter. Meanwhile, Space Cowboy gives Lux his hat and a kiss and says, "You pretty little thing," and heads off to his ship, which has now been armed, it seems. So he heads up to help out in the battle. There's the stellar converter. Like I say, it reminds me of something from Forbidden Planet or something like that. But here comes St. Exmin. She's the real hero of this film, to be honest. She's coming in, screaming she is. She heads straight for the stellar converter, but the front of her ship, it can detach, so it detaches. Look, off she goes, and the rest of her ship with the star drive smashes into the into the stellar converter, disabling it. So she's saved, and there we go. It won't fire. It's been damaged. Yeah. So St. Exmin has saved the planet single-handedly. Now she's floating in essentially a life pod in it, and she gets surrounded by Malmori ships. And this is where she does the live fast, fight well, and have a beautiful ending. There we go. It's been a very enjoyable fight. And then she blows herself up and takes them with her. So they're all crying, and they all say, "Live fast, fight well, and have a beautiful ending." Yeah, very nice. So that's the end of St. Exmins. We might as well not watch the rest of the film now. She's not in it. But anyway, we will. So he's in retreat now, look. Retreat behind the sun. Sador retreating. Crikey. But anyway. So they're heading back. But then Space Cowboy's taking off. This is where Cayman does his battle cry. He says, I'm Cayman of the Lambda Zone. And says, I'm a Lazuli or whatever. There you go. What form are you, Cayman? I am Lazuli. He says, I thought I had the honour of making that species extinct. There we go. So he's gonna finish off the job in a minute. Pardon me. So here comes Cayman. Is he coming? Oh, have I missed it? Hang on, where are we? Have we gone past it? No, not yet. Not yet, but Space Cowboy's coming. Space Cowboy from the planet Earth. I was telling people where he's from, isn't it? So he's shooting at them. The nuclear missiles are coming out again. And it's where I think he gets one clips him or whatever, but it blows up. And it starts spiralling out of control. And then we see, I don't think he's survived. There we go. Starts playing his harmonica as he's going down. And then we just see the wreckage on the planet's surface in a minute. Didn't want to fight, but he came anyway. There we go, wreckage. I presume he's dead. We don't see him again. Then Cayman does his battle cry. Cool. So he's shooting, and it doesn't last long. There we go. That's the end of him. That's the end of Cayman. They're dropping like flies now, aren't they? Right. So Shad's going in now. Who we got left? I think that's it now, isn't it? There's only Shad left, isn't there? So he's going in. He's being chased by nuclear missiles. That one explodes. He's trying to shoot them, but then one gets through, and there we go. And they're all flames and sparks, and look, they're all covered in muck now for some reason. Now that he's gone, the production value should increase. Yes, that was the last day of shooting for George Peppard. Of course, Robert Vaughn went earlier, so there's more money to spend. Oh dear. Anyway, so Shad's ship's Nell's damaged and she's lost her memory. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know anything. She doesn't recognise Shad. She thinks he's Zed. And she says, "Who's that girl?" Anyway, this is the only ship left. So Sador thinks he's won. There we go. It's the last one. So he gets it in a tractor beam, wants them brought on board. There we go. Use them as an example, I suppose. Because they can't blow up the planet now, can they? Because the stellar converter's broken. But he now thinks, he says, Akir is mine now, because this is the last thing, in between them and taking over the planet. Shad has the idea of he's going to head straight for him. They use the Vada. Vada says to use force against itself or whatever. So they're going to go straight for him. So this chap says, they've reverse thrusters. They're heading right for us. And Sador says, just keep the beam on them, because he's overconfident. But, he should listen to this fella. All through the film, this fella's trying to give advice to Sador, but he won't listen. There we go, just keep the beam on him. But here comes, he's heading for the front of the ship, is Shad. Even though they've got a tractor beam on him, but I don't know. But he's heading for the front of the ship where the stellar converter is, and what he's going to do, he's going to blow up the ship. He's going to tell Nell to self-destruct. And it'll set off the stellar converter as well and blow up the ship. That's the plan. They're at the forward deck. So they're sending all these squads to go and get them and bring them on board. So where he's set the self-destruct for 30 seconds. So she starts counting. It says, you've got to get into the projectile or whatever she calls it. like a skate pod. So they're heading for that. But she can't count anymore. She goes 29, 28, 27, and then she says, no, it's the 24, 15, 22, and Shad says, just start from 10. So that's what happens there. So she says, so long, Zed. So off they go. She's counting all wrong. Hang on. Off they go. There we go. So they go. They eject. And Sador orders them to surrender. And she says, there you go. Says, I'll surrender, you sorry son of a mutant. And she says, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and blows up. There we go. It's going to blow. And then, we're all going to die. And he says, I want to live forever, he says. So he can't believe his ship's blowing up. And he says it again, I want to live forever. There you go. Because he thinks he's the Highlander. Until Rose Tico sideswipes him and messes it all up. Stupid film. Don't talk to me about The Last Jedi. Hang on. And then the ship blows up. There, off it goes. There, blows up the bloody huge poles and stuff flying off it. So that's the end. Sador has been defeated, and only Shad and Nanelia survive. I presume them 2 Kelvin down on the planet are okay, unless they did put him in the protein tank to break down their bodies for food. I don't know. So I presume the Kelvins are all right. And Quopeg, he might be all right as well. I don't know. We only saw Cayman on his ship. I didn't see where Quopeg was. So I guess he's down on Akir, is Quopeg, with that woman that liked his muscles at the beginning. So I'm guessing he's there. And of course, Nestor, those 5 Nestor that were in this, are dead, aren't they? But remember, it's a single consciousness, so there's hundreds of thousands of other Nestors still out there. Are they the same Kelvins from TOS? No, they're not. No, they're not. They're called Kelvins, aren't they? Because Kelvin is a measurement of temperature, isn't it? 0 Kelvin is minus 273 degrees Celsius. Or centigrade. Minus 273 Celsius. Cowboy survived. It just took him a while to get back. I think he's dead. Anyway, so they say we did it, but Nanelia says, what about all the others, St. X-Men and Cowboy? She say it there. There you go, St. X-Men and Cowboy and all the others. And then he says, the Vada teaches us that while we remember them, they're never really gone, or whatever. Something like that. There we go. The Akira believe that no form ends until all the lives that it has touched are ended. So they'll be with us forever, or something like that. Till all the good that is done, blah, blah, blah. And that's the end. And they'll always be with us. And then we get to the end, and just bang, the end. So there we go. So, cool film. I love it. I love Battle Beyond the Stars. It's great. A great film. The best Roger Corman film. I know Roger Corman's does some great films, hasn't he? And classic horrors and classic, sci-fis and stuff. Well, cult classic sci-fis. But this is by far the best one. Probably because of James Cameron, to be completely honest. But anyway, so there we go. So that's the end of Battle Beyond the Stars. And everybody died apart from Shad. And Nanelia. And possibly the Kelvins and Quopeg, whatever the bloody called. And according to Joshua Kanapke, Cowboy, he's fine. I'm going to say yes. He crawls out of that wreckage and he's fine. They deal with him. They get him to the protein tank as well, because it's a Bacta tank. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Vada stuff, yeah. But whatever. Wonder what James Cameron is going to go on to do. I don't know. Never heard of him again. Never did anything else after this. Dear. I mean, after this, he directed Piranha 2, The Spawning, didn't he? After this, which I've never seen. I've never seen that, and I've heard it's terrible. Right, so there we go. That's the end of Battle Beyond the Stars. Classic film. Classic film. What can I say? I can't say anything more about it. It's great. I went to see it at the cinema when it first came out. A young... when did it come out? When was its release date? I don't know when in the UK, but July 1980. So I will have been 13 when this came out. When I saw it. And loved it. Loved it. Sure, the effects... And some of the sound effects are a bit wishy-washy and not the best. But for this budget, and it's better than it has any right to be. And plus, it's also based on the classic story setup. In it's based, it's Seven Samurai, Magnificent Seven, in it. So you can't go wrong with that. It's a classic story, isn't it? So there we go. I mean, who could mess up that classic tale of the Seven Samurai? Magnificent Seven. You can't go wrong with it, can you? Zack Snyder. Right. So that's it. That's the end. We'll leave it there. So what's coming up next? Right. Wednesday, I've got my news. Friday night's appointment with Fear. Oh, let me move that. This week, yes, we're doing Mimic. Guillermo del Toro's Mimic, which is a cool film. So this is the director's cut. So there we go. A film about giant cockroaches. Spoilers, but it's a cool film. And then next Monday, I've just set this up actually, just a few minutes before this started. Next Monday's a Magnificent Mondays. We're doing The Machine, starring Toby Stephens and Katie Lotz. Cool film. Oh, and Saturday. Yes, I forgot about that. And on Saturday, I haven't got the thing with me. It's over there. Mid Blu-rays are up there. On Saturday, there's a special show. Magnificent Monday special on Saturday because it's May the 4th. So we're doing the original Star Wars. Not the special edition Star Wars, the original theatrical version of Star Wars. That's what we're watching on Saturday. So there we go. Love the Mimic movies. I've only seen the first one. I haven't seen any of the others. Yeah, White Canary. Yes, she is. Yes, it's a good film, is this, for next Monday. I really like it. I don't know if you've seen it, but it came out about a year before Ex Machina, and I think this is miles better. I wasn't a fan of Ex Machina, to be honest. I thought it was boring. This is good. Budget of £1.5 million, £1.5 million, and so it's cool. So that's what's coming up, and obviously in the community section, I've got a poll for an image poll for the pictures to choose from for next Sunday's live sketch time. That's there. Right, is that it? Are we done? Right, we'll leave it there. So. Thanks, Win Grace, Joshua Kanapke, Josh Temple, who's creeping in the shadows somewhere, he says. And Sci-Fi Quest, who's still out helping his neighbour. Don't know what he's helping his neighbour with, but can't say I've heard of it. So I don't think many people have, to be honest, but it's a cool film. And I don't know where you can watch it, to be honest. I don't know what streaming services it's on. I've not heard of The Machine either. Looking forward to it. It is a cool film. So, and just have a great evening, everyone. He's crept out of the shadows. Dear. Right. So, thank you everybody for joining in. I keep forgetting to mention. Oh, never mind. No, the shop. Yeah, merch. I've got a shop. If you go into the YouTube page and go into the shop section, or whatever it's called. You can go to the that old Yorkshire Geek shop for T-shirts, and I forgot to put my bloody T-shirt on, didn't I? They're over there. Never mind. For T-shirts and mugs and aprons and bags and sweatshirts and all sorts of stuff you can get there. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching. Wherever you are, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say they.